Strongman Personal Finance. And no, I'm not putting a shirt on. In this video, we're going to react to a very interesting article that popped up on Yahoo Finance. And in some aspects, I actually agree with a lot of what this expert is saying. So here's the title of the article. Let's dive right into it. The mother of all bubbles, bubbly bubbly, in the US is sucking money away from the rest of the world. Market expert says, oh my God, let's get into it. I'm nervous. Are you nervous? You probably are because you're traders. So here the article starts. U.S. dominance over global financial markets has reached extreme levels, pointing to a bubble of epic proportions, according to the world-famous Ruchir Sharma, chair of Rockefeller International. I don't know who this guy is. There's always an expert here and there. Everybody claims they're an expert, but apparently this guy can be trusted, right? Let's keep reading. In a column in the Financial Times last week, the market expert, Mr. Sharma, said investors around the world are putting more money in a single country than ever before. I 100% agree with that. Now, the thing that I've noticed about U.S. stocks is not that they're bad, not that we have fantastic companies, which we do. We have the best companies in the world. I don't doubt that for a second. We have the most profitable, fastest earnings growth companies in the world. But you can overpay or you can have exuberance in the best companies in the world. Did you know that? Did you know that if a company had the highest profit margins in the world, but you paid a price to earnings of $20 trillion for it, you're overpaying, okay? And what happens is, as some countries continue to outperform, if a country outperforms over time, it creates a feedback loop where most investors look at past performance, even institutions, in my opinion, and they say, okay, this went up a lot. I'm going to invest in that. And by investing in that, it drives more money into that market, and it creates this feedback loop where everybody starts to chase the performance. And I'm starting to get that feeling. I mean, I've had this feeling for a while with the United States because the United States stock market, I mean, justifiably, we've had great earnings growth. Everything's been honky-dory so far. The U.S. stock market has crushed the rest of the world. Crushed it, okay? And people are noticing that, and they're piling money into U.S. stocks. And I myself have 65% of my portfolio in U.S. stocks. But what I caution people not to do is to use the past performance metric to massively overweight yesterday's leaders, because they could continue to lead into the future, but you could also be paying a premium. We'll see what happens. I hope U.S. stocks go up 20% per year forever. I would be very rich. All of American exceptionalism in markets has now gone too far, Sharma, who authored the recent book, What Went Wrong with Capitalism, warned. Oh, there's a lot of problems with capitalism. It's basically bought and paid for all our politicians. We have a bunch of huge monopolies. For example, U.S. companies now account for 70% of the leading global stock index. I don't think that's accurate. I thought it was 65%. Up from 30% in the 1980s. While the U.S. economy's share of global GDP is just 27%, he noted. Now, in defense of U.S. stocks, bro, just because our percentage of global GDP is not the same as our percentage of our market capitalization, there's a lot of reasons for that. Number one, corporate earnings as a percentage of GDP can grow faster than GDP. If GDP grows 3% per year, but corporate profits grow at 10% per year, they become a bigger percentage of GDP. So it doesn't, just your GDP and your market capitalization don't necessarily have to be aligned. And U.S. companies are international, so a lot of their earnings growth is also coming from overseas. So if they're capturing more of all publicly traded markets and they're generating more and more profits, it's possible that your market capitalization can far outstrip your GDP growth. Now, what I also question is we're going back into kind of an isolationist trend with the election of Trump, where we're threatening tariffs and we're getting more combative, and we're kind of turning away from free trade. And this could potentially have ripple effects on a lot of our global companies, which could potentially decrease their share of international profits. So there's a lot that could happen in the future. But all I'm saying is it doesn't, just because our GDP doesn't correlate to our stock market capitalization, it's not necessarily a bubble because of that. What I think would cause a bubble would be the unending feedback loop of, oh, it went up, buy it. Oh, it went up, buy it. Oh, it went up, buy it. That's how bubbles are created. People get very euphoric, which I also kind of see that in the market as well. I'm really nervous. I should sell all my stocks. To be sure, U.S. growth has been more robust than everywhere lately, and American companies are among the most profitable. I mean, basically, big tech is hyper profitable, and they dominate our stock market, and they're a pretty big part of the global market as well. I mean, God, like 25% of my portfolio, I think, is in big tech. But Sharma pointed to other metrics that indicate how out of whack markets have become, even after factoring out the AI boom that has sent a handful of U.S. tech stocks, large cap tech, to stratospheric levels. We'll see. Indices that weight stocks by price instead of market cap and adjust for the leading tech giants show that the U.S. has outperformed the rest of the world by more than 4-1 since 2009. I always find it ironic that America destroyed the world, almost destroyed the world with our housing bubble, and then we did the best afterwards. Just hilarious. And such outperformance isn't restricted to stocks either. In 2024 alone, $1 trillion in foreign capital has poured into U.S. debt markets. Well, yeah, because interest rates are higher. Nearly double what the Eurozone has attracted. Yeah, I mean, you can buy U.S. bonds. You can get short-term treasuries and get 4.5% now for basically no risk. I mean, I have treasuries. And there's also the fear of global conflict, Russia, Ukraine, blah, blah, blah. And America controls more than 70% of the global market cap for private equity and credit. I don't do private equity. Even when I'm one day an accredited investor, I'm not doing private equity. I'm sticking to VT, baby, for life. In the past, including the roaring 1920s and the dot-com era, I like how we have to say it's the roaring 1920s. It used to just be the roaring 20s, but now we're in the 20s again, so now we have to clarify. But so far, we have been roaring. A rising U.S. stock market would lift other markets, Sharma wrote. Today, a booming U.S. market is sucking money out of all the others. I mean, it kind of looks that way so far. A mania in market sentiment can impact the real economy, he warned. For example, investors abandoning smaller markets can weaken currencies and force central banks to hike rates, slowing those economies and worsening their fundamentals. Don't we have higher rates on average than Europe? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Talk of bubbles in tech or AI, or in investment strategies focused on growth and momentum, growth stocks, bro, obscures the mother of all bubbles in the U.S. markets. I mean, I'm a little concerned, but I'm also not concerned because I'm a long-term investor, which most of you are not. Thoroughly dominating the mind space of global investors, America is over-owned, overvalued, and overhyped to a degree never seen before. Maybe. His admonition echoes what Alliance Chief Economic Advisor Mohammed El-Arian, oh, that guy, said last month when he told Bloomberg TV to expect a huge sucking sound of foreign capital flooding into the U.S. I love how other countries just they just let this happen. Like, they just let America just fist them. Like, America fisted the rest of the world in 2009. We basically use the dollar to make them do whatever we want. We threaten them with freaking tariffs if they don't do what we want. And they just take it. They just take it. If I was a foreigner, I would not like the United States. But I benefit from it because I'm an American, so whatever. The rest of the world may have more trouble coping with a period of faster growth and hotter inflation, adding to America's relative edge, he predicted. We're going to see how inflation goes in the United States over the next couple of years. Because while I love Big Daddy, there are some risks. We're gonna do tax cuts, bro, with huge deficits. Wonder what that's going to do. This is a period in which U.S. dominance of the global system is going to increase, both for positive reasons and for negative reasons in the short term. and the rest of the world will just take it. They'll just take it. Meanwhile, Black Swan investor Mark Spitznagel, what a name, co-founder and chief investment officer of the hedge fund Universa Investments, has been warning about a bubble for a while now. Last year, he said the greatest credit bubble in human history was set to pop, and said in June that the bubble was about to burst. In September, he said markets have already entered black swan territory. At this point, there is a ungodly amount of euphoria. The fact that cryptocurrency is doing what it's doing is the clearest indicator that we are at some level of euphoria that is not healthy, okay? Please bring the crash. Please, I need this. After massive stock gains in 2023 and this year, Wall Street expects the good times to keep rolling in 2025. Wall Street's always bullish. They want you to be invested so they can charge you fees. I'm bullish, bro. Bro, I'm so bullish, bro. I work at Wall Street. And then when they're wrong, they suffer no consequences. If I screw up a tax return, I get in trouble. See the pinned comment, I do taxes for 2024, business and personal, any state in the United States, upfront quote, free consultations. Book a consultation with me. Bank of America sees the S&P 500 reaching 6666. 6666. Yes. Nice. I like it. It's very specific. You know how they project where the S&P 500 is going to be? They probably just say, okay, the S&P's earnings are going to be this. We project the earnings per share is going to be this, and then we slap a PE on it. Wow, good prediction, bro. And CFRA sees it hitting 6585, with both representing upside of about 8%. And the market guru, Ed Yardeni, has a target of 7,000 by then, indicating a 15% surge. And the way bubbles work, this could easily happen. We could easily see 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. This could go on for freaking years. I'm not saying it won't. And I would temporarily feel very rich until it finally burst. So I guess that's the article. Apparently, the U.S. is just sucking all the capital from the rest of the world. All the money's flowing into the U.S. because every person and their mother is a performance chaser. And when they see stocks go up, they buy them. And I'm surprised everybody's not just in the Mag 7 at this point, to be perfectly honest with you. So what do you think? Do you agree with Ruchir Sharma, our expert of the day, that we're in a bubble of epic proportions? Or do you disagree? And what are you going to do with your portfolio? You know what I'm going to do? I'll let you guess what I'm going to do. It's very hard. It's very difficult. A lot of you can't understand my brilliance, okay? But I would love, so here's the two scenarios I would love. I would love stocks to just go up at 20% forever into the future. That would be amazing. That would be awesome. I would be so ungodly rich. It'd be awesome. I wish that would happen. That's one scenario I would like. The next scenario would be we have a titanic market crash. 80%. Like the Japanese stock market, baby. Oh, that would be beautiful. And then I just buy and buy and buy and buy over the next couple of decades. And then the market, I think, will recover at some point. And I will be obscenely rich. Obscenely, because I'm not selling my stocks. I'm not selling my stocks. Why would I? What's the point? Hold them forever. That would be amazing to see an 80%. It would wipe out all the clowns. I don't think it's going to happen. 80% would be extreme. It would wipe out all the clowns. Shares would be exceptionally cheap. My savings rate is now very high, higher than it was previously at least. And as I get older, my savings rate's going to ramp up, so I can buy more and more and more and more and more and more and become a bigger owner of all the world's stocks. And I think in 20 years, I think I'm going to be obscenely rich. So I just don't know how I lose in this scenario. But if you're worried about short-term performance, which I think most people are, whether they admit it or not, this could be very bad. I mean, I think if we had a 50 to 80% decline, I think most people would bail out. I think most people would have their financial lives ruined. And it would just be very nasty all around. It's kind of like my wet dream. I don't think it's going to happen. I honestly don't. but we kind of need it at this point. The euphoria that I see, the crypto, Tesla stock just going bananas, even though the company's fundamentals are not good. Okay, Palantir, all the cloud stocks, just massive multiple expansion, euphoria, grifters popping champagne, party in the USA. It's concerning, okay? And I worry about you guys because a lot of you claim to be long-term investors, but you've only lived in a bull market. I mean, think about it. The last 15 plus years, we've just been on this perpetual 45-degree angle. What are you going to do in a Japan scenario? You'd crap your little panties. That's what you would do, and I would laugh. All right, let's do some comments. Check out my tax services. Let me do your taxes. Are you a professional, bro? I'm a professional grifter on YouTube. Time to party in the... It does... That Taylor Swift song, like, perfectly describes what's going on. It's a party in the USA. Hey, it's a party in the USA. Stocks go up 25% per year. Capital Mindset. I'm going to ape into Apple. It's an easy 10x from here. Out of all the big tech stocks, I don't understand Apple. I really don't. I say that as I use an iPhone. Okay, I got somebody with Arabic here. About Canada. I don't know anything about Canada, dude. I live in Virginia. Fear-mongering, bro. No, I actually have a great message. If we go into a bear market, you guys are going to love me. I'm going to laugh, though, because I want to see a lot of these, especially these. I just want crypto to go away. It needs to go. I caution overweight people to wear shirts. Me too. Let's see. But most people prefer VU over VTI. They are heavily concentrated in only the 500 companies in the U.S. Well, that's how it works. People tend to pile into the best performers. That's how bubbles are formed. In the long run, the market will correct it. But these things could last for years. For a long freaking time. But people do tend to flee things that didn't do well. And they tend to invest in things that did well. Luckily, I don't have that mindset. It helps me sleep at night because if I was in QQQ, I'd be crapping my pants. Okay, I'm not even comfortable only being in the U.S. I don't feel comfortable about it. I never did. To me, it doesn't make sense, and I sleep better at night knowing that I have a Kazakhstani stocks. Let's see. Palantir, Tesla, iBits, I guess that's the Bitcoin, and NVIDIA rate my portfolio weak schlong. Well, you sound like a genius. I take it the lazy live streams are here to stay. I mean, I like them. They're easy. I wish I could do it horizontally, which would be so much easier, but it doesn't seem to work. If you had to invest your entire net worth with Paul Gabriel or Cathie Wood, who would you choose and why? Oh my man, why do you give me those options? I'd have to go with Cathie Wood. Paul Gabriel will literally exterminate a portfolio. Cathie Wood will just wreck you, but she won't exterminate you. Let's see. Inflation is good for China. They're like worrying about deflation. They should financialize their economy in tier 1, 2, 3 cities. Bring manufacturing to lower tier cities. Inflation is good for... inflation in general is like how most economies operate. Let's see. But if the bubble got overly huge, wouldn't you cash out? There's no reason to cash out. Because number one, you could be wrong and maybe it's not a bubble. And number two, if it is a bubble and it pops, but your time horizon's long enough, and you dollar cost average as the bubble implodes, and you hold it for decades, I don't see how you lose. You only lose if you need the money in the short term. If you need the money in the next year or two, probably shouldn't be in stocks. Oh, my QQQ's my savings account. Let's see. Stocks will go down at least 50%. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath. Capital Mindset. I need a correction. Get my bonus early next year. Got an unexpected windfall that's going to hit in 20 days. Exactly. Okay. My savings rate finally got up to where it was before. And once my kids get out of daycare and I pay off a van, I'm going to have ungodly amounts of money to invest. And I want to crash badly. Fabio, $5. Was that a fake super chat? There's a 5x leverage Mag 7 ETF. Don't get left. Is there really? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Shahoob 5. Definitely buy the dip with that. Well, I mean, if you're doing like the VT index thing, there's no such thing as buying the dip. Buying the dip is not a phrase that an index investor should use, because you always invest excess cash as soon as you get it that you don't need. You don't hold on to it unless you need it. Short term is not how money is made. Oh, really? Tell me about it. Strongman, would you recommend buying a home now or waiting? That's very personal. There's a lot of factors that go into it. Republicans' terms tend to cause a crash. That's past. Who knows? Just because it happened in the past doesn't mean it's going to happen in the future. If it were to happen, you'd reckon it's within the next decade. I mean, my gut would say at the end of the 2020s. I have part of me feels like we're going to go into this insane like bull market, which would be awesome. But by the end of the 2020s, if stuff starts to get real crazy, like even crazier than it is now, it's definitely a bubble at that point. Would you buy a home now or wait for the 2025? There's not going to be a crash like that, man. Let's see. Did you go to WGU? Yes, I did. Palantir is $80. Is it $80? Oh, we're not in a clown market, bro. Let's see. Palantir stock. It's at $77 in the after hours. Close. God, the grifters got that one, man, at least in the short term. See, in the long run, if it ever comes back to like 20 or 30, they'll just, I don't know, they'll find some way to work around that. But right now, they're like popping champagne. My stock went up because of multiple expansion, massive multiple expansion. But it's highly correlated to crypto almost. But hey, we're really good investors. We'll see. Picked up some Amazon in 22. And here's the thing, guys. I've owned big tech since 2012. I didn't just pick it up. Just own it forever. It's not hard. Party in the USA is from Miley Cyrus, not Taylor Swift. Oh, they all look the same to me. VTI and VXUS, best split. Market cap weightings. Strongman, can you loan me money to buy VT? No. Let's see. Can't you take the bubble made money and invest fundamentally? I don't know what that means. Strongman sucked off Bogle at the truck stop. That's why he calls himself a Bogle head. How dare you defame our late and great Jack Bogle? You know what's funny about Jack Bogle? Everybody says that if you buy international stocks, you're a fake Bogle head, because Jack didn't like international stocks. Jack also liked bonds. Did you know that? He actually was pretty big on having heavy bond allocations as you got older. How many of you are in bonds, Bogle butts? Probably none of you. I'm kind of upset you're not eating right now. The pasta stream was OP. I'm actually a little hungry, but I don't know what I'm going to eat. Let's see. Does he have any ideas from looking at his clients' taxes? See, here's the thing with doing taxes. Number one, I don't really look at your detailed transactions, because I don't have time to what stock did he buy? I don't care. And you only see what people sold on their tax forms. So you could have tax loss harvested, and you just have all losses for the year, but you could be up massively overall. But I wouldn't see that because you didn't sell. Only the sales and the dividends and stuff show up on your tax forms. Palantir hit $80 now overnight. God bless America. Let's see. I need the money tomorrow. I will use Apple and Tesla as my savings. There's people going in my old Tesla videos and making fun of me, and I'm like, guys, you don't understand what's going on with that stock. You know what? We'll see what happens. Maybe I'm wrong about Tesla. Index investing should just be once a month, every month. Well, it depends on when you get paid. I get paid twice a month, so my 401k goes in, and then whenever I get spare cash, I put it into my Roth, and then once my Roth is maxed, I put it into taxable. Do you ever get FOMO when others are making crazy money in short run? I don't. My portfolio is at the size. I'm not rich. I'm not a millionaire, but my portfolio is at the size where I could literally never talk about stocks again, and I would be a millionaire, assuming normal market returns. I don't feel the FOMO because I don't need to take extraordinary risk. And I just don't feel it. I don't feel FOMO for Bitcoin. I don't feel FOMO for QQQ. I just don't. Because I just think, like, long run, I'm going to be very, very fine. I'm already fine now, as you can tell. When will you buy Bitcoin? Literally never. Capital Mindset. I use Meet Kevin for macro. Guy has gotten all the predictions right. Remember he sold at the top, bro? Fat makes you fat. VT's underperformance is really getting to your head. Let's see VT's 10-year returns. I hear they underperformed inflation. Let's see. Let's go to Vanguard's website. Let's see. Okay, 10-year return is 9.43% annualized, and 5-year is 11.36% annualized. Looks like I underperformed inflation, guys. And by the way, I got those returns. Those are real returns that I received. You know what your returns are? Nobody knows. Why? Because you hide your losses and you flaunt your wins, grifters. Strongman, should I buy ANET or SPLG? SPLG 500. Go with the index, thank you. Interest on the debt will make up 15 to 30% in the next 10 years, not if rates come down. Look, the interest on the debt is high because rates are high right now, which is controlled by the Fed, and most of our debt is short-term debt. But what if short-term rates come down? Interest expense will come down. Everybody liked the video. I've got 146 viewers and 20 likes. I know you're all freaking lazy and you can't do it, but do me a solid and sign up for my taxes. I'm actually cheaper than I've done free consultations. Some people have paid more to TurboTax than to me. Like I'll be like, okay, this guy's probably a $450 return, and he's like, oh yeah, I paid $600 last year. I'm like, oh my, for TurboTax? Get out of here! I need to raise my prices. How old are you, bro? I'm older than you. Let's see. Fuhat bought private equity. If you wanted the Japanese stock market crash, why not China? Chinese stocks are giving you that, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure they will have to inflate and financialize. Their capital controls will allow for... I guess it got cut off there. I mean, I want that globally. Because here's the thing. China is a much smaller percentage of my portfolio. Most of my portfolio is in U.S. stocks. That's where most of the money is going to be made or lost. VT doesn't have U.S. stocks. What are you talking about? Let's see. I saw a lot of YouTube thumbnails showing Palantir to 500. You know, in a really crazy market, it could go to 500. That would be awesome. Stocky broker. When stocks go down, you make videos laughing, but when it goes up, it's a clown market. That's not true. The market went down in 2022. Okay? I didn't make videos laughing about that. What I laugh about is frauds pretending to be good investors when they're clearly frauds. And when stocks that I think are clown stocks go bankrupt, yeah, I'm going to talk about it because I was right about a lot of them. So hard. It was so hard to predict, guys. So hard to predict. You can earn capital off momentum stocks. You can earn capital shorting NVIDIA. TLT. I mean, I don't see the point of TLT. To be honest, stocks, long-term growth, short-term debt, short-term government debt, stability. I mean, why do I need TLT? It's like a rate play. Tesla Tesla will be $600 next year, easy. Risk-free rate is 30%. Fabio, you say that jokingly, but if we get into like a crazy market, which part of me hopes we have just for the entertainment, it could go to $600 because we know it doesn't matter. It's best to do heavy index investing when there is a crash. It's always good to do index investing. VXUS's 10-year return after inflation is 1 to 2%. Did you know that between 2000 and 2010, U.S. stocks were flat, basically? Did you know that, JP Santos? So what value does looking at the past performance provide? It provides nothing. Absolutely nothing. But, you know, you're a genius. You looked up the past returns. Can I buy your course? Roth contribution is 6K or 7K. It's 7K. Can I open one this month and dump 6K into it? Well, yes. If you have not contributed for 2024, if you've made no contributions, and assuming you make income, you have to make income, then yes. If you're not sure, you can wait until you file your taxes, and your taxes will say how much you can put in, and you have until April 15th to fund your IRA for the previous year. That's sometimes a smarter way to do it instead of not knowing whether you can or not, because there's limits, and putting it in during the year and then having to pull the money out. You don't want to do that. Most people have negative returns throughout their life. I mean, yeah, or very low. They just don't admit it. Oh, I trust me. People laugh at VT's returns. I got those returns. Should I go with the C fund or L2045? Well, the C fund is the S&P 500, and the L2045 is a mix of total internet, total world minus China and a few others, and bonds. So the choice is yours. TurboTax is free, is it? I guess, but yeah, if you have a very simple return. Okay, Captain Sleep. I get a W-2, a K-1, and a small LLC. How much for taxes? Probably $400 or $500 if that's it. Since book a free consultation, we can talk though. We can always negotiate. Here's JP Santos quoting past performance. I wish I had your IQ. I can't believe it. If Palantir did hit $500, I'd be scared of the real economy and how the average working American feels. Look at Tesla. Dude, if Tesla can be over $1 trillion, Palantir can go to $500. Let's see. You made videos laughing at Tesla or Palantir going down. Yeah, because if you look at the earnings of both companies, they don't match their stock price performance. Palantir has finally gotten back to where their revenue growth was during the pandemic, and their stock valuation has massively exploded. I mean, people are pricing in astronomical growth into both of these companies, and I don't think it's materialized for either of them. Fabio, past performance equals future results. True. You would already be a millionaire if you bought SPY. Probably. Accounting for the 50% drop. Let's see. I remember when Jeremy bought Tattooed Chef, Honest, Corsair, and Smile Direct Club all at the top. He buys Tesla at the top too. That is who Strongman is calling out. No, Jeremy's a genius now, guys. He changed. He's really smart now. Strongman, how do I get chest hair like you? Very high testosterone. Let's see. Have you ever done taxes for someone who's done a mega backdoor Roth IRA? I've done somebody that's done a backdoor Roth, but not a mega backdoor Roth. But, I mean, that shouldn't be hard to figure out. When you're experienced like me, you can do any taxes. Do you have a degree in finance? I do not. Tesla investors assume Trump will boost trade relations with China EVs and move towards flat tariffs and China EVs in America to reduce the EV price war. Just my opinion. Look, Tesla's cooked, dude. We're increasing hostility with China, and they're a huge market for Tesla, and they have a factory there. Like, come on, people. Think. What about a super mega duper backdoor Roth? Oh, I've done those, yeah. Let's see. Look at the Robo Truck. Okay, Mohammed Anderson. Jeremy had a few good stocks. I give him that. I agree with him on Meta, but every once in a while he gets into gambling phase and buys trash stocks. Well, that's the thing. Like, if you're throwing darts at a dartboard, you're going to have wins. It's really as simple as that. You buy a bunch of stocks. If they do bad, you sell them, and you keep the ones that did well. And you can actually sell your share lots in a way where you reduce your basis, making your percentage returns look better. I actually caught Jeremy doing that, where he sold some shares of Tesla, and his basis dropped. So he's manipulating his portfolio, trust me. China literally has better EVs than Tesla. I wish I could buy like a Chinese EV for like 10 grand. That would be awesome, but I don't think I'll be able to do that. Let's see. Have you done crypto taxes? Yeah, I've done tax. It's just an asset. Like, it's not hard. Do you know Joseph Carlson is 6'4" and trains Muay Thai? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that bench press doesn't really look very used in the background of his videos. I wish Meat Breath would post more so you could roast it. Is he not posting a lot? That'd be a shocker because he needs the money. What's your lifting routine like weekly? Just asking, since you're in your late 30s, early 40s, hitting 30 soon, I'm noticing more injuries versus when I was... So lifting, I alternate between cardio and lifting. Cardio, lift, cardio, lift, cardio, lift. Cardio, I do Stairmaster, or in the summer, I like to run, and I'll run on the treadmill. Lifting, I just do the same routine. Bench, military press, 2 benches, military press, shrugs, and 2 back exercises. And I don't go super heavy because I kept getting injured too. So I don't like try to, I usually aim for like 10 to 12 reps for each one of the exercises. Because going too heavy, that's for young bucks. You should cover Zip Trader. I have. That guy has to be a scam. He is. Balding. Yeah, I've been balding ever since I've been on YouTube, but I still have a full head of hair. Do you keep your emergency savings in a money market index? Yes, my emergency savings is in a federal money market. Do you have any position in BABA? No, I sold it for a China ETF. Mike Fabio, MicroStrategy is good for emergency savings. Oh, man, I love his trolls. Jeremy's got enough dough to weather the storms. It'll take a real bear market to end him. It would take a 2009 type thing to really get rid of him. Let's see. All right, guys. Well, that concludes the video. Do you think we're in a bubble? What are you going to do? How are you going to position your portfolios? You going to short MicroStrategy? You going to triple leverage short Bitcoin? Are you going to sell calls on the SPY? What are you going to do? I know what I'm going to do. Guys, I'm really nervous. I'm shaking. Look, I'm shaking. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, whoa. Guys, I've never been more nervous in my entire life. You can see it in my eyes. Look at my eyes. See that? See the fear? See the pupil? Yeah. All right, check out the pinned comment. Let me do your taxes. Free consultations. I will talk to you for free for 30 minutes, go over your last year's taxes, and give you an upfront quote. And if you don't want to do taxes with me, that's fine. There's nothing to lose. And I guarantee you, you're probably using an expensive CPA. You know why I'm cheap? I got no overhead. It's me in my freaking house. I can charge less than the average CPA and probably make more profit. And I'm never hiring employees. Ever. Ever. Once again, let me do your taxes. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Cheers.